Breaking news with Barry Chow. Facebook is going to Xero. No! What on earth is happening? Is Mark Zuckerberg gone rogue? Have UFOs abducted him? Aliens taking over meta platforms? The metaverse is getting taken over by ALF? The world's gone crazy. Crazy. Somebody going to stop them? Can Facebook be saved? Yes, they can, by you destroying the like button. So this message gets to the guardians of the galaxy. Don't touch that. If I were you, it's the subscribe button. Why is it lying around on the screen? I was going to put it in a rectangle box. If it gets really hardcore, it's in the rectangular box. No, the end is near. We need to blow up the UFOs now, right now, to save civilization as we know it. Do it now, subscribe, so meta platforms can be saved from financial ruin. Oops, have we left it too late? We're under attack. Quick, subscribe. What an intro. So is Facebook really going to Xero? Well, if you believe the metaverse is a figment of the tech world's imagination, and it's all hype, Facebook is going to die a slow death as people move away from the platform. Thank goodness they have Instagram and WhatsApp. I still believe Facebook is going to 1,000. Check out my Facebook video right there for a more in-depth analysis. Why is the stock price tanking after hours and into today? Well, they missed quarterly expectations in a bad way. Revenue expected in the first quarter to be as low as 27 billion, where analysts believed it to be around 30. Facebook said it, including privacy changes to Apple iOS and the macroeconomic, it blamed a lower than expected growth in part of inflation and supply chain issues that are impacting advertisers' budgets. There is also a shift to products that don't generate as much revenue as its core news feeds. Simple as that. Facebook ads are very expensive now. The company's daily users fell below expectations at 1.93 billion versus 1.95 billion analysts expected. Facebook is not providing the service that young people want. Zuckerberg continues to blame Apple for Meta's woes, is a little defeatist, and he should focus more on his own company and find new revenue streams before the apocalypse comes down on Meta. They actually beat revenue expectations in the fourth quarter, but they still dropped 20%? No way! So who is running scared? Is it you? Is it you? Nah, you're not that silly. It's just the old hedge funds. Running scared in the short term, as they're short-term sighted, worried about beating the other hedge fund over there and over there, instead of looking at the long-term picture. They could seize the opportunity of going all in. But the sad thing is that when people don't really think about investing and they invest into hedge funds, they're expecting a performance and don't like it when it drops down. But when it drops down, they could be buying a whole lot more and making you richer long term. Instead of selling off and then buying something else and getting a little bit of profit, they could have doubled extra money if they buy into Facebook when it's lower, and then when it skyrockets back up, and eventually it'll hit 500. I'm sure it will, not financial advice, but this is where the opportunity lays. While the hedge funds, just like Meet Kevin, are selling out of Facebook or out of the market, we are all buying the dip to financial independence, not financial advice. So if you've got $1 million laying around under your mattress and saving it for a rainy day, that day has arrived to empty your wallets and enjoy retirement into the future, as Meta Platforms is an absolute bargain right now. Meta Platforms earnings are short-term, minor blimp on their radar. I hope for our sakes the price stays low for months and months and even a year, but more than likely it will go down in the short term, very short term, then it'll go sideways, and then eventually it will go boom, straight back up. And more than likely the hedge funds would have already brought right back in, leaving your chance to seize the opportunity gone within the space of a month. Could be as easy as that, could even be shorter than that. So you take the opportunity when you see it. Just like what The Rock would say, do you smell what The Rock is cooking. Well, if you're cooking right now, a metaverse soup and indulging in all its streams of revenue for generations and generations to come. What does Meta Platforms have going for it? You know what to say here. We are going to have our own avatar we use on the screen, just like the Bored Ape that Eminem has just bought for over 400,000. What? Will we do everything online? Well, currently we already buy our stocks and real estate and crypto online. We play mostly all our games online. Working online has started to come in with Zoom video and Microsoft Teams, all these different outlets, Facebook rooms, are all taking the world by storm. And the virtual world with your avatars will come together in the metaverse. Also concerts, right from your living room. You could go back to the old days of the Woodstocks. You could go to the currents of the Adeles, or the Taylor Swifts, or Eminem, and feel like you already are in the concert and you're just watching it with your headset at home. But you feel like you can actually walk around like you're actually at the event. So human contact could be a thing of the past. Or many people would say it's already happening. Why is the camera zooming in on me? I'm not a hermit. I'm not completely taken over by the monk mind in my previous video. I still use my monkey mind sometimes to aimlessly play games, watch TV all day, look blindly at this camera right now in front of me. I do have a life.
24 hours later.
I'm not still here, locked inside these four walls. No way, I'm not just having bread and water. Metaverse is taking over our lives with cryptos and NFTs, literally thousands of choices to buy your own virtual digital art to show off to the world. Virtual reality is even coming into Disney. On their phone apps, when you arrive into Disneyland, you will see a whole new world, which I will discuss more in the video coming up very shortly, the Disney Metaverse, so check that out very soon. Meta Platforms, aka Facebook, are known for their ad revenue and has been a huge winner for a long time. But is that the past? They're on the decline. Can they readjust and go forward again? As well as their user numbers going down? As the shift to short videos takes over and Facebook stories get left behind, as it doesn't have the same impact as TikTok, but thankfully they've got Instagram. That is saving them from going extinct, but sadly not as monetizing as Facebook. Apple's iOS upgrade in 2021 had a slight change, giving options for Apple users on their iPhone to opt out of tracking, making it harder for Facebook ads to target specific people, as so many people are scared of being tracked. And fair enough, Big Brother is watching you. This time it's all video cameras, CCTVs all around the world. If it's not on your computer screen, they are watching you. So watch out. Which in essence makes Facebook ads less effective as they once were, as they have less people they can target their products to because they have less data available to them. One thing that Facebook is doing for the first time, which people will see it as a negative, but I see it as a positive, is they're investing more into themselves to grow the company. But their operating expenses are already high, and now they're going to increase them by like 20%, 30% going forward, so they can create the metaverse. You're going to see the profits dwindle. And you could see the net profit in the next year even drop by 20% as expenses continue to rise and the stagnation of revenue. But it'll all be for the good as metaverse skyrockets. So what should you do as an investor? If you're a value, growth, long-term investing, Facebook is very attractive proposition to load the boat. Not financial advice. You could short the stock, but I expect it will more likely drop only for the short term and go sideways a little, as I said before bouncing all the way to shorting disaster. Don't do it. That's my recommendation. I could be wrong, but I expect Facebook to bounce back fairly quickly. If I was a day trader, what would I do? I would completely avoid it right now till you see the positivity go back up and it starts rising 5%, 10%. Then you would be confident it's going to jump up and you can make yourself some decent gain. Wouldn't take over the world by storm, but you can make some gains, especially if you're in that top bracket of day trading. But remember kids, not financial advice. Facebook to me is still going to $1,000, especially when the metaverse becomes reality, as Zuckerberg himself will have his own NFTs. Imagine that his iconic face as an NFT, or his first ever Facebook post. Can you see all the dollar signs? Right there. So could Facebook go to zero? Absolutely. If the Facebook community social media page just disappeared off the face of the earth, everyone moved over to somewhere else? Absolutely. Look at MySpace and Bebo, crash and burn, which would mean most of the ad revenue would be gone skis. And if the metaverse just becomes a pipe dream and never actually gets to its destination, just like full autonomous driving, we've been promised it for years and still it hasn't happened. But will we actually eventually get there? Both reasons of metaverse and autonomous driving, I believe we will. But it may take longer than expected. Thanks for coming along today. Facebook needs your love, so destroy the like button to keep Facebook relevant, and subscribe because you out there are amazing and I love you all. Until next time, I hope you got the money printer rolling so you can benefit from Facebook's lack of love right now. As this current moment, invest responsibly out there.